Why do you disagree?
I disagree because we have the vision, the momentum, and the real love for the community that is producing some great results at this point, and the momentum is picking up in such a way that we really need to make sure we keep the leadership that we have so that we can have that consistent flow of not only economic development but other positive developments that are happening here in the community. And we look forward to continuing to serve.
So, in other words, if you've got a lot of things already going on now. If you change leaders, that could all blow that up or mess it up. And, it's kind of changing horses in the middle of the river. You don't want to do that kind of thing. Is that
Right.
what you're feeling?
I feel as if we have the momentum on some things that are really key to the city of East St. Louis being the city that we all want it to be. And when you change, you all of a sudden have someone else that you're dealing with at the lead elected official position standpoint, and that's one of those things that could cause a disconcerting kind of continuation, and we need to make sure that we keep things going. We've got some outstanding things moving in East St. Louis right now.
Good. What's your current position on operating hours for bars and clubs in your city?
My current position is that I support what we currently have. I never thought that we should have reduced the hours. So I actually, for those who have the responsibility level to stay open, I would support those going back to the position that they had before, which if they wanted to be open until 5 or until 6 or until 4, they had that opportunity, but they had the extra responsibility for keeping them secure. One of the things that's been proven over and over again is that it's not the taverns, it's not the bars, it's not the clubs that are killing people. It's people exercising beefs and vendettas against other people who go and try to do harm to others. So one of the things that I know that we've had disagreement about before is where do we stand on that situation. And very clearly, I'm a man of free enterprise. I think that if a business has the responsibility level, especially regarding security, that they ought to be having the opportunity to be open as late as they can handle, but being monitored very closely by those of us with the city and other agencies as well.
Good. Last one. Senator Durbin says the key to improve public safety in East St. Louis is economic development and job creation. And if so, what are you going to do? Do you agree, and what are you doing to make that happen?
I agree in large part with that statement, and one of the things that we're doing at this point is, and we just chronicled this at our economic development town hall meeting on Tuesday evening, we have some tremendous economic development that is afoot right now. An example of that is the $140 million development of the old Alcoa site, what used to be known as the Red Hills area. This is an area that is going to have a $140 million solar farm across a 400-acre span, where we're looking forward to creating green energy for housing development, for businesses along Missouri Avenue, selling it to the grid by way of Ameren, making sure that we continue positive economic development. Let me give you another one that's truly transformational, that's not quite at that same point yet, because that one is already under construction. But the riverfront of East St. Louis. We know that on the south end of the riverfront, we have a port that is building out right now. A port where you're talking about barge traffic, rail traffic, trucks, moving goods and services all across the world. That's happening here in East St. Louis, and it's going to happen in an even bigger way in the very near future. On the north end of the riverfront, we have another major transportation hub that used to be in an area called Goose Hill. Well, that area is now where the Stan Musial Veterans Memorial Bridge happens to be, where the stockyards used to be. We've got several new businesses that have located there. So that's one of those places of economic development that is truly not just promising, but it's already budding. The third big piece that I'd like to point to is the medical marijuana. The medical marijuana cultivation center that's going to be housed here in East St. Louis is a source, first of all, of outstanding new medicine for the entire state of Illinois. The production site we're fortunate enough to have right here in East St. Louis. The second part of that, though, is the jobs, the commerce, the business development opportunities that exist for people who are here in East St. Louis. So in terms of the future, we are looking so far up. We don't even know where the economic development will stop here in East St. Louis. We've got smaller developments, like a new development of the Loisel Village Shopping Center that's taking place right now, where they'll employ close to 200 people right there in that village. In addition to that, there are 2 other grocery stores that are being planned for East St. Louis. There's an aquaponics factory that's coming to East St. Louis as well. So I agree with the senator on the point of economic development being such a critical part of the public safety network, because when people are working, typically they're not thinking about breaking into a store, they're not thinking about selling drugs, they're not thinking about doing hurt, harm, or danger in order to make their pocketbooks work. They're typically thinking about, how do I get to the next day and be as productive as I can at work? So this kind of a situation is absolutely true. And that's one of the reasons that we have such a bright future ahead. The economic development that's coupled with the public safety network working is going to make East St. Louis the all-American city once again.
That's great. It sounds like it's the new things, whether it's the small, whether it's the shopping center and there's 200 jobs, or the bigger business coming in, that's all going to compound with your goal of making it more prosperous here in the city.
Absolutely. One of the things that we recognize is that people remember the glory days of East St. Louis, when you had businesses all up and down State Street, along Bond Avenue, downtown Collinsville Avenue. You had all kinds of businesses here. People look forward, and people are ready to work to make those days come back alive. There are a lot of people around here who want vibrance. They want positive outcomes for the children, which is another very important key, because it's not just economic development, but it's about making sure you put a lot into these children. And when we look at what's going on here in East St. Louis at places like Sunshine's Cultural Arts Center, the Jackie Joyner Kersey Center, Mary Brown Center, the Christian Activity Center, there's so many good things for kids to be involved in, and so many good people here in East St. Louis. The future is nothing but the brightest. This is an awesome future that we have ahead, and we look forward to remaining at the steering wheel to drive the city in the right direction as fast as we can get there, but as carefully as we can get there too.
Sounds good. Anything else you want to say?
No, looking forward to April the 7th and asking the citizens to come and vote for me and the Life More Abundantly team that is sponsored by the East St. Louis Democratic Organization.